Hi, I'm Roya. You can press play. Our Creative Capital project, Between Sight and Desire, Imagining the Muslim Woman, is a multi-room installation conceived in collaboration with writer-director Maryam Keshavarz. I want to begin by giving a bit of context about how Maryam and I came together by introducing our previous work. In 2011, Maryam's fiction film, Circumstance, received critical international acclaim and provoked quite a bit of controversy. Fights broke out between audience members over the authenticity of its portrayal of gay and lesbian life in Iran. Whether critiquing or praising the film, audiences expected it to represent the truth. But Maryam just wanted to explore desire and sexuality from the perspective of two young women living in Tehran who fall in love. Here's a fantasy clip of one of the girls' fantasies.
میریم کلاب حال میکنیم
Falling down. Once upon a time we were falling in love, falling in love. We can never be wrong. We can never.
Meanwhile, I was collaborating with performance artist Wu Sang on a documentary called Wildness, about an art party organized by young artists of color at an East LA bar with a transgender Latina clientele. We thought a conventional observational approach might feed into the idea that we could somehow represent an entire transgender genderqueer community. So we fantasized the bar as a magical character who literally speaks to differential perspectives around gentrification, class, immigration, and culture. In other words, we made it impossible for the film to serve as ethnographic evidence. Whether working in documentary or fiction, Maryam and I felt our creativity confined by demands to reveal truths about where we come from and who we know. We didn't want to play the good informant. We wanted to play with pleasure, grief, joy, anger, things that exceed the truth. So we were compelled to look under these demands for authenticity, and we found desire. Desire to know, see, possess. Desire satiated through categorization, conquest, and photography. And then, in the heyday of colonial expansion, the pictures began to move. Cinema had emerged. The camera's design literally evolved from the Gatling gun, the original machine gun. Early film negatives were made with gun cotton. The camera and the gun didn't just look alike, they shared the same chemicals. The language of filmmaking bears these marks: track, pan, zoom, shoot. Our installation recast the conversation around positive or negative, true or false representations, not to reveal who the Muslim woman really is, you'll never find her, but instead to explore how images of the Middle East have been created and how the mechanisms that have trained our eyes to transform these images into targets. We're flexible with the installation of this project, but we've drafted a preliminary floor plan to give a sense of how we're thinking about these rooms spatially. The space is a dark, exploratory environment that teases out and then frustrates these desires to know, see, and possess. The first area is lined with peepholes, even playful, each framed with the barrel of a Gatling gun. The holes feature erotic clips of harem scenes from Hollywood films with music videos, part of an ongoing obsession in popular culture with gaining entry into the forbidden area of the harem. Cinema, like warfare, has been preoccupied with revealing the invisible and capturing the remote. While focus is something we take for granted when looking at images, focus must be created. We're making an original short film for the middle peephole, but the film can only be viewed through the active manipulation of an optical lens that pulls out and around focus, but consistently refuses a clear image. The second room consists of opposing films we will recreate based on two archival photographs from the 19th century. On one side, we will direct a filmed portrait of Iranian women in Nasruddin Shah's harem. On the other side, we will direct a portrait based on this image, passed off as an authentic representation of a harem girl, but staged in France with a model posing as the erotic and racialized object of desire. Both sides appear to witness the transformation of the other into an image. We make transparent our process of counterfeiting these images as the viewer hears us actively direct each filmed portrait, one in Farsi, one in French. The third space is a hallway lined with moving image eyes. These are based on live recordings taken as you look through the magnifying lenses in the middle, which are placed in order to view archival images that are on microfiche format. Some photographs are taken within local context, and others are fabrications cataloged as Oriental nudes. As you look through the lens, there is this unsettling sense that you, too, are being watched. The moving eye of surveillance is reframed as an evil eye for some and a protective force for others. Our installation connects colonial histories to current military strikes in the Middle East.
I was running off
You
into
can
the
turn this
field.
down.
You see this? Yep.
Thank you. We are developing 2 other rooms and need technical advisors and designers to help us with video game, sound, and sensor technologies. We also need exhibitors who are interested in variable and modular installations of the space, of the pieces through 2015 and 2016. There is no war without representation. This is not a metaphor. Before there can be a target, there must be an image. And so, because the stakes are high, I wanted to end with this thought. Zimmerman did not just shoot a young boy who was walking in his own neighborhood. He shot the image of a black male threat that had been fabricated and circulated since the beginning of cinema. This image transformed into a target, and Zimmerman shot what his eyes had trained him to see. This training is a legacy of our visual culture. It's a legacy that as image makers we are accountable for, and it is a training that we urgently need to undermine. Thank you.